Hello, everyone. My name is Oksana. It's road to Edoverse, weekly Edoverse Insider's 83rd. We deliver the news about the creation of our project Edoverse. And as usual, Tokugawa-san, could you please open the session for today?
Okay. Thank you, Oksana. Hello, everyone. This is Iehiro Tokugawa. So this is part two of, law and law in Tokugawa, Japan. Is that, you see, I come to think of it, have we ever had the notion that all people are equal in Japan? And probably there never has been until the end of World War II. So in Europe or in Islam, well, in Europe you have Christianity, and in the Islamic world you have Islam. So people, at least the good believing, God believing people are equal in the eyes of God. But in Japan, I really doubt that was ever the case. So Tokugawa, Japan was a highly legalized society, but the foundation of law rested in the fact that the command structure for the long era of the Civil War had survived into peaceful times. And you see, the reason why the samurai were always armed with two swords is to remind them what their origins were and to whom they owed their standing in society. So they're warriors first and foremost, and therefore must obey obey the superiors. In the case of Hatamoto, the shogun, in most cases, the daimyo. So and they were basically following the rules given by the shogun, and so on and so forth. So it was based on secular authority. And in order to enforce peace on the population, there was a gonin-gumi, or 5-men group, in each and every village and in most cities. So in the cities, this was a 5-member committee of the landlords, and in the village, it would include all the village families, rich and poor farmers alike. So, and whatever important decisions had to gain the agreement of this 5-man group, the gonin-gumi. And then here it gets related to legal affairs, is that whenever an individual, and all individuals belong to one gonin-gumi, 5-man group, or another, when he had business at the court of law, then the leader of the 5-man group will have to accompany him, or at least or an agent, and then the person who is the claimant, or the defender, must stand in court by himself, but with some assistance from his superior in the 5-man group, and so on. So, but you did not have to stand in court if you were too young, too old and feeble, or you were ill. So many actually chose to pretend illness. And then there they had an expert. So this is the origin of the legal profession in Japan, to represent him and as a sick person. And that expert, the kujishi, would do all the defense. So, and in the meantime, the real defendant who feigned illness would be playing around in the city where the court resided. So, so you see, with the maturity of Edo society, people learned how to move through the rules and regulations. Okay, and I think that's enough for this week. And so see you next week, everyone.
Thank you very much, Tokugawa-san. And JJ, could you please join us?
Hi, thank you, Oksana. Hi, everybody. Sorry to say I'm in Indonesia now, Jakarta, and then sometimes the line is super bad, so could be like tough to understand my my wording. That's my excuse today anyway. And then I have some kind of partnership discussion with certain guys here, and also I'm planning to participate in some events in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. I mean, around the middle of October, and then they might be interested in joining our ecosystem and Edo Bus as well. So yeah, again and over again, I think Edo period and historical concept is super attractive for especially foreign people among European, of course, and Asian people as well. Anyway, and we discussed something about the promotion material last week because we are going to have blockchain expo next month, and then we will provide some kind of what is it called, mystery box. So you can choose some of the box, and then after that you can get some kind of NFTs or like digital items or gaming points or something like that. So please feel free to drop by our booth, please, and then we are happy to welcome you all. So anyway, we will keep updating you. Thank you so much. That's enough from my side. Sorry, but my line is pretty bad. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you very much, Jay. Sorry. And Mitsushi, will you please also join us for today? Hello.
Hello, long time no see. The biggest news is that the Japanese government announced that they were considering deregulation on token finance. Token finance means that the project that issue token can carry out fundraising, not just by selling equity to investors. Instead, they can sell tokens directly to investors. I think that's very revolutionary form of investment. Currently, the projects that issue token usually resort to convertible bonds or some other complex scheme to sell tokens to investors as a form of finance and investment. But that is why a lot of entrepreneurs go out of Japan, get out of Japan and migrate to Singapore or Dubai and get based there and create foundation or entities outside Japan and issue token. But if this token finance is deregulated in Japan and legalized, a lot of entrepreneurs don't have to leave Japan. They can get based in Japan and issue token here and conduct fundraising by selling token to crypto funds or venture capital instead of equity. I think that's very enhancing, and that will accelerate a lot of token projects from Japan. I think that's going to be very important momentum and a great trend. And a second news is that one of the most famous public chain, namely Asta, they announced that they will launch Asta ZK EVM on Ethereum L2 network. Currently, a lot of projects are choosing layer 2 of Ethereum. So the Asta's announcement is consistent with this trend. They will collaborate with Polygon and develop ZK EVM. The ZK means zero knowledge proof, and EVM is Ethereum compatible network. So I think the trend to choose Ethereum, the Ethereum ecosystem will be bigger and bigger. I think this project's Edoverse is also choosing Ethereum as their own ecosystem. So I think our project is also consistent with this trend as well, very luckily, fortunately. And those two things are updates from me today. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mitsushi. And Martin, how are you doing today? Hello.
Great, thank you. Hi. Another fascinating little lecture there from Tokugawa-san. I do think that highlights a distinctly different attitude towards the law that exists within Western and Asian cultures. So over here, I mean, my experience isn't limited to Japan, but the attitude towards the law in Asia tends to be that you follow the letter of the law rather than the spirit of the law. And people come up with clever ways to circumvent laws. So there's the famous example of Soapland, which we won't get into the details of, but that's a thing. And this idea of claiming to be sick, and that's the genesis of the lawyer profession in Japan, is hilarious to me. So yes, I think the way that these obscure old laws and customs come into the gameplay of the Edoverse is going to greatly contribute to the richness of the experience. So I really hope that we can get as much of Tokugawa-san's amazing insights into that aspect of the culture and fuse them into the experience for the users. So, I mean, I am obviously, interested in the gaming industry, and there've been a couple of very interesting things happening over the past week or so. Number one is, it has emerged that Diablo 4 lost 99% of its users in the space of a month, which is the most precipitous drop in support for a game in the history of gaming, which is quite interesting. The other thing that I'm interested in, because I've had the pleasure of meeting the founder of Unity, the game development service provider platform, David Helgeson, on several occasions, both here in Japan and in London. And that company is also imploding in spectacular fashion. So watching these mistakes, I hope it's something that we can learn from. Obviously, we're in a very different field of the industry, but still, yes, learning from others' mistakes should definitely be on our radar. So I urge you to look into those two stories as a kind of word of warning for what not to do in this space. But that's it for me this week, Oksana.
Thank you very much, Martin. And Shunta, do you have any news for us?
Thank you, Oksana. I want to make an announcement for Monthly Insider. The next Monthly Insider is scheduled to be broadcast on October 10th at 1:30 p.m. We have a lot of exciting contents for you, including the latest updates on minigame and Fortnite's second stage, and event information about the Blockchain Expo. We would also like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to all our loyal viewers. We are committed to improving our equipment, such as microphones and cameras, to make the broadcast more enjoyable to all of you. We look forward to your continued support, and thank you for being a part of the Edoverse community. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Shunta. It's great. This is all improvements. And Dominique, could you please sum up the session today?
Okay, thank you, Oksana. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm happy to hear, just as Shunta just mentioned, that all the events is coming up on October's monthly, 10th of October's. And then we have a Blockchain Expo, which is going to be really one of the big booths. We just are taking it, and then we just show a lot of things, a lot of events, including Mr. Tokugawa's speech. Yeah, I'm really looking forward. And then, yeah, Mitsushi just mentioned that actually Japanese deregulations. Yeah, whether we can just make it or not, but still there are Edo-based foundations. If they could just make some the tokenomics in Japan, that'll be very, very exciting in the future. But I don't know yet. We have to just analyze it, and then we have now we are just waiting for the launch of games toward the end of year. That's we now have 3 games, and very simple 3 games that looks very attractive. I'm really looking forward just to playing this. That'd be great. And also the Fortnite games, before that it's launched, then it's coming up. That's also the very, very interesting. And also we are now start to just developing some that ukiyo-e NFTs, and that's also, I think, interesting. So many people just now involved, and also at the Edoverse Co Limited, actually, the Japanese Edoverse, the advisor to the Edoverse Foundation. The company is actually recruiting more people, but this time that we now that timing is that for the promotion. Because now we have a 3D spaces, and then we just completed the tokenomics, the connections, and also we have the game will be launched. So, but we have to do that. That we have to just let people know, and then we need a promotion, and then the Edoverse team is just now we have to increase the people for the promotion to let them know in the world, and then I hope that many people can just join Edoverse game in a space with Edoverse in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dominic, and thank you everybody for speaking and everybody who been following us and listening to our updates. So we will meet next week. Goodbye.